my section, I'm trying to bring in not necessarily a curriculum part of this, but my work part of it, and work being firefighting. So this is going to be a session kind of on life safety, fire safety, and having an awareness. So we'll go over some areas where we have potential hazards. We'll go over a video, we'll do an exercise, and then we'll wrap it up. Just to start off with, on a piece of paper, I'd like to ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, what you think your life safety / fire safety, what you're comfortable with, what your level of competence is in any one of those areas. Fire safety, let's just say. How do you feel? Are you 10 being the most confident that I could handle any situation, or 1 being I have no idea what I would do in this situation? Or just things that you may or may not notice. And then I'm going to have 10 questions, and it's going to be a yes and no answers. One to 10, scale of 1 to 10. Sierra, really quick, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident you are on the subject of fire safety, life safety? 10 being the most, I can handle any situation right now. 1 being, please help. So these are going to be the yeses and nos. Just mark down all your yeses. So if you know CPR, is that a yes or no? 1, if you were to walk into a room, do you look for the AED? The AED is an automated external defibrillator. Well, 1, do you even know what it is, or do you even look? Right. Do you know what it is, or do you even look for it when you walk into a room? Yes or no? When you go into a hotel or a big conference room, big lobby, do you look at your exit signs or the exit placard?
Can we have a sometimes answer? Or actually yes or no?
Let's. Well, you can do half.
Okay.
Do you know where your closest fire station is?
On purpose?
Do you know how to put out a grease fire in the kitchen?
Is that not to?
If you were cooking, do you know how to put out a grease fire in the kitchen?
And that's different than that's a particular type of fire.
That's probably only.
Just so
I
clear,
think
your answer is no.
Thanks, friends.
Also, when you walk into a room, conference, lobby, hotel, do you look for the fire extinguishers?
That's really sad.
How many are we up to? Did I
6,
lost
7,
count?
yeah.
We're
We're
on
on 7
6.
now.
Oh, 7?
Was the
We're-
defibrillator
we
in
will
the,
go to 7.
where are they?
Oh.
1 or 2?
Yeah, we're going to 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you, if you stay in a hotel, would you prefer to stay above the 5th floor? Yes or no? When you go into a place of business, restaurant, conference room, do you look for exits? What do we have? That was 9?
No, that's
8.
CPR,
CPR. Oh, yeah.
AED,
8.
fire station, looking for exits. Pull stations, do you know where they are?
Or what they are.
Or what they are? Pull station.
Pulled in high school.
And
She never did that.
as far as extinguisher is concerned, do you know what PASS stands for?
Say the question again.
When you're looking at an extinguisher, or when you're talking about an extinguisher, do you know what PASS stands for? PASS.
Oh, yes.
I don't know.
I should adjust my number.
Okay, so really briefly, add them all up, find the sum, and share what you perceived was your fire safety knowledge and what your actual safety knowledge is. I'm curious just to check to see, and I'll throw it out from the left. We'll go, Allie, have you kind of yeah. What was your perceived? What did you think?
6,
And what did you come up with?
5.
Wow.
Oh, my perceived? I said 4, and I got a 3.5.
I just said low. I didn't put a number on it,
Sure.
but I would have said 3 and I got 3.
I said 5 and I got 2.5. I said 6 and I got 5.
Wow.
I said 4 and I got 5.
Wow.
I said 5 and I got like 6.5 because one of mine is a yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then my question is, why so low? Obviously, this is something that is important. It's your life. It's when you go into a place, it could be life and death situation. If I were to fall down right now because I have a heart condition, who's gonna take care of me? So yes, okay.
I am.
So I'll throw out the question. Why do you think that fire safety or life safety is so low for some of you? For I guess this would be opposed to the 3s or the 4s and 5s.
Probably because I think like it won't happen to me.
So you think you're kind of complacent?
Yeah, like I don't want it to, so I just ignore it.
Does anybody else kind of feel that way? Yeah. Jess?
I think some of it I learned back in like elementary school or like junior high, like some of the like DARE, like fire safety, like don't do drugs stuff. So it's not really fresh in my mind. It's been a couple of years.
And
I think I'm too busy. I'm thinking about too many other things, or when I go to places, I'm not thinking about my personal safety. I'm thinking about what I'm trying to accomplish when I'm there. So it's just not the top of mind.
And if I could be completely honest, it's because you are my significant other. I
You'll take
don't.
care of her.
Yeah, and I actually answered in the case I was thinking that you weren't, because a lot of these things I could answer yes to. Like, do I look at the exits? Do I find the AED? Yeah, because you tell me every time. Earlier, or the AEDs, and because I know what those things are and have been trained on them. If I see them, then they're there and I know where they are. But I don't purposely go walk around a room to find them. So, in my real honest answer, it's like 3, but I could say more.
okay.
I
Well,
rely on you.
yeah, and that's another aspect is, I think you hit on it. Someone else is going to know it. So there's enough people out there, and there are. I mean, if you're at the 5, 6 level, you have a basic understanding. That's the medium. So, which is totally fine. But my job, hopefully, what you guys get out of this is just have a little bit more knowledge. So the hotel question. Any reason why I asked that? 5 and above.
Well, because you can't use elevators, you have to go down the stairs. So the higher up you are, the longer it takes. Or
No, I think more so if there is a fire in a hotel, if you can't get out for whatever reason you're trapped, the trucks for the fire department only reach about to the 5th level. So if you're in the 6th,
you gotta jump.
you probably have to jump down onto a ladder or pretty rough, right?
So you want to be on this one?
And
Who wants to stay in the penthouse?
I know.
I know, but I mean that's just something to think about, and that's why I'm interested to hear what people have to say. What we'll do now, really quick, is we'll talk about certain areas in the home where what we can have fires or life safety issues. The kitchen, the grease fire.
What is a grease fire?
What is a grease fire? One, you're cooking with grease, and if you get water on it, any little bit of water is gonna start a fire, and it can get really big really fast. So then that's why you don't want to put water on grease, because it's gonna splatter everywhere.
See, I knew that you didn't want to put water on it, but I did not know what you should actually do.
So,
And I realized that
If
I
you
don't
if you
cook.
did wanna
I don't cook.
put out the grease fire, it's just simply put a lid on top of it.
Oh, I got that right.
I put no question mark.
Put a lid on top of it. Some people say throw baking soda on it. Either way, you're breaking up the chemical reaction. You're taking away the air, or you're breaking up the chemical reaction. If you're in a room, smokers, I'm sure I'm not talking to any smokers here, right? There are things considered fire-safe cigarettes that will, the older cigarettes will continue burning, but the new fire-safe cigarettes will stop, unless you puff on them. So then they will go out. So one area of concern, if you do have friends who smoke, be careful if and when they go to sleep, that they don't sleep and smoke in your room, because one, it's unhealthy, and two, you can cause a fire. Extension cords in a room. How many of us use them and overuse them? That's one of the things that we try not to do, because you can definitely, and depending if you put a piece of carpet over it, or you put clothes over it, if you do find yourself doing some of that, it's not that good of an idea, because you can start a fire. A couple other things, space heaters. How many of us have space heaters when it's super cold? Yeah, Jane.
Or some people do.
And do you know if does it have the safety action? If it falls over, it turns off.
I don't even have one, but yes, I think that they do.
There is a safe fail put into most, where if it falls over, so that it doesn't continue burning, it shuts off. So that's one thing to look at when you guys do shop around.
No.
It has a level.
Oh.
So as soon as that level tilts, or
Yeah.
piece of mercury or like that falls over. And lastly, I learned the hard way about this when I was in college. I tried to make my dorm room smell really nice, so then I lit a candle in there and walked away, and I ended up burning a hole through my desk. So
You
think
had to pay for that desk.
no. I don't know. I at the end of the year, I just walked away. But that's something to think about when you do have all those things in your house. Just keep an open eyes and ears for that. What we're gonna go over right now is just a video, and I posed a question earlier. How many of you, when you go, just the one on the left, when you go into a room, a conference, a bar, a concert hall, how many of you look for exits? Well, this is going to be a graphic demonstration about what can happen and how fast it can happen. And then we'll just try to pick this video apart really quick, and talk about why this happened, how.
When you say graphic, you mean it's going to be hard to watch, or you mean it's going to be a graphic representation?
Both.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah. So just if you're
Then
squeamish,
please,
not squeamish, but if you don't like,
Blood and guts.
100 people died in this.
Okay, thank you. That's a helpful. Thank you.
Today, good indicator.
Yeah. So there was 100 people who died in this, and this is shown as a what not to do tool.
Which one of those other lights?
Which ones do you want?
Joshua.
Yeah, if it's kind of well,
Yeah, it's pretty tired.
So they're starting the clock right now because of this back here. That back here.
I love it.
Somebody smoking?
That fire.
Fire, yeah.
So this guy is walking away right now.
I think those guys on stage are just walking.
So the alarm sounds in 30 seconds, and you have pretty much the whole stage is on fire right
I think people.
now. Smoke is building up.
I know, look at their cell phones.
It's not even a cell phone.
This is smoke.
This is probably a camera from 2003, so I doubt people were.
My iPhone better.
So a minute in. So this gentleman walks around to the back of the bar. Actually, this was a restaurant converted into a bar. It's a minute and 30 seconds in. The amount of smoke that's coming out. He now comes back to the front of the bar. These are all people. They start from the ground. They're laying down. People on top, on top, on top, on top. They're all sandwiched. One exit.
They stop?
So why are they running out?
Probably that family. Everyone follows them.
2 minutes in. Here's the door. Those are the windows. My section earlier prior to this video was longer than 2.5 minutes. In 2.5 minutes, this is all happened already. I spent at least 5 minutes talking earlier. Within 5 minutes, this thing goes ablaze. It's pretty much burning free. So you're 3 minutes into a fire. Takes most fire departments at least 4.5 minutes to 5 minutes to get to a place. And probably within the next minute, it's going to be completely involved. Survivability is going to be 0. With about 4 minutes.
How many people were in that room?
About over 200.
So about half of the people got sick.
So we're about 30 seconds away from this being completely. I mean, people are still close to the building, fighting the heat that's coming off. You can hear sirens. It's about 4:30 in. About 4:30 on the dot. Can anyone survive in this?
No.
The smoke is ready. Probably 2 feet from the ground to the smoke.
Person with the video camera, this is fascinating to me that they're
Yes,
just
it
running
was.
around. I mean, it ended up being such an amazing tool,
Tool.
but so dangerous.
So at 5 minutes, he's gonna walk back up to the front this point, I'll stop it, but there's nothing you can do about it right now. Because as soon as he turns the corner,
Whoa,
you guys notice that?
it's a person. There was a person like right at the front.
Oh, he's right there, sorry, right there.
No, there's someone right there.
You're
Now
fine.
I-
Oh.
6 minutes in.
I'm never going to the hospital.
Now,
Alright, I stand right by the exit.
Yeah.
I bring up that video only to
Dude, that video's only half of it.
yeah. I bring this up and not to be a Debbie Downer, but it's near and dear to my heart because it's important. It's life safety. So I asked earlier, what did you guys notice, or what did you girls notice when, what was it, a minute 30 in, you saw people on top of each other? Why do you think that happened? They didn't know where the exits were.
They got pushed down.
They got trampled.
They got trampled.
We had to stay low because of the smoke. There's really nowhere to go.
Did what ended up happening was this phenomenon that's called bottlenecking. It's essentially this: you have a big area going into a small exit or opening. When you walk into a place, you're more than likely to walk right back out that place because you're familiar with that, you know that, so you're gonna go to what feels most comfortable. And that's why I'm trying to instill, when you go into a room, you're looking around, you're looking at the exits. Once again, just to emphasize complacency. Why do we do that? Why do we feel that our lives aren't important? And I'm shooting that out as a rhetorical question. There's no need to answer. I think we all understand the importance of it. But what I want you guys to take home from this is we'll do an exercise, and essentially it's going to be creating an exit plan for you and your family. If you live at home, it's going to be for your siblings, for your parents. If you live by yourself, it's a good idea for you to have an idea of how to exit someplace. So just pull out a piece of paper. What I would ask is, if you live in an apartment, it's going to be perfect because it's single story. I want you to draw a layout of your home with the kitchen, the living room, where the couches are, bedroom 1, bedroom 2, where the nightstand is, the bathroom, the windows, the doors, the garage.
Yards too.
Not the yards, just the footprint of where you live. You know already. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C.
Ooh, I could get out the window. I mean, really.
And
And then
that way
over,
before.
and then
And if
over
you're
the fence.
now, when you're thinking about the location of fires, if you're on the second floor in your bedroom, can I feasibly jump out the window? If I can't get downstairs.
You jump out the window, but to like a backyard that's surrounded by other concrete backyards, probably not a good idea because it would be blocked in.
But you would-
So
you
I'd
would-
have to,
Could you climb the fence?
I'd have to climb like 5 fences to get out. So I can only really get out the front side.
Or would you be away from your immediate danger?
If you got out the back, yeah.
And it seems so. If your house is on fire, they'd be more than happy.
Bring an axe.
I'll always carry an axe with you. But through concrete? Maybe not.
Oh yeah, not concrete walls.
So let's stay on the on that for a second. What difficulties are we finding? If where is your fire? And
Say it's like in the kitchen, and if it came up the stairs, so I
Mhm.
was upstairs,
Mhm.
then I would like maybe try to go, because this is my room,
Mhm.
so I'd probably try to go out my roommate's window, but I don't think we have a ladder.
But could you jump from the second floor and not break your leg? Only
There's like a
your ankle.
little like
and if
thing
you
over
did,
the
risk
door.
versus
Yeah, so
Interesting.
I would,
True, yeah, leg
Yeah.
versus
Versus
side,
like-
third degree
right.
versus first degree.
so yeah, because I don't think I would want to go out to the patio just in case.
Is anyone else having difficulties? Do you have a
Yeah.
where's your fire?
I
That
would
would give
assume
you
probably
grief.
in my kitchen.
Kitchen.
But we live in the second story. We're in a duplex. So our stairs are on the outside of the house, and we only have one door to come in and out of. So if the fire were in the kitchen and it had blocked the hallway right here, and I were in my room, I would have to jump out the window. There wouldn't be any other option for me.
Are there like
So-
safer ways to like jump out a window?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you hear some people where they like use like roll like a towel or I don't know, like try and like
And here's the thing. There are places that you can buy ladders that can hook into windows that you can go down.
Got my silks in my room.
Yeah.
Those
are-
do that, really.
Hook 'em to my
But you have to
bed
put
and
on
out.
your your dress before that. No, so yeah, there are places that you can get a ladder, or risk versus gain. It's either your leg or your life. Now, one other aspect about the life safety, fire safety, do you have an extinguisher in your kitchen? Do you have an extinguisher in your kitchen? Do you have smoke detectors in your place?
Yeah,
Which is
I do.
a great segue in what's today? Spring forward.
oh yeah.
And they suggest every 6 months, which is spring forward, fall back. You check your batteries on your smoke detector. So, just a small little tip. Try that.
Just take the batteries out.
So, what are some of the fears of? Do you have a fear of dying in your fire?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I don't think about that as much as I think about strangers coming into my house and how I would get out of that,
Sure.
which is still a danger, obviously, and either one could be detrimental.
It's an attack,
Right.
either by a person or by fire.
Yeah.
So now going on, what would you do different? I mean, would you consider getting an extinguisher, making sure
Probably getting an extinguisher would be a good idea.
researching what type of extinguisher?
Hit them with
Yeah.
their
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would do that, and then also in my layout, I realized my mom, because I live with my parents,
Mhm.
and so their room is on the back side of the house, not towards the street. So I would need to tell them like get a plan, because my thing is I would have to go back into the house to see if they're okay. So then I was thinking like during this whole thing like what would I do and would I feel bad if I didn't go back, and then like oh my god, and I just started freaking out in my head because they're behind me, and it would be easy for my brother and I to just jump out our windows and be fine in like 0 seconds.
And that's what this exercise is all about. It's called EDITH, Exit Drills in the Home, and it's given to kids so that the parents can tell them, hey, this is where you're going to exit, this is window 1, option 1, this is option 2, and then we're going to go meet outside in front of this tree or in the neighbor's yard. So that's the whole purpose of this, but it helps adults as well. And you said something about others, your
Like
parents.
going back into my house.
Yeah, how does that play a role in? I mean, we all saw how long it took, 1:30, 2:30, by 4:30. So, how does that play into how you're gonna get out.
Now I don't. It was originally in my window, but now I think I should go out with them to make sure they're okay. So going out their door.
So then, and all it is I'm just trying to get that hamster rolling in your head. Is how am I gonna get out? How am I gonna get myself out? And how am I gonna get everyone else out? If you have pets, you gotta throw something else in the mix. Are they ambulatory?
I put him in here.
Does my cat hide under the bed all the time? Does my dog not walk right now? So those are other things to think about. And that was the whole idea, the purpose of today. So the takeaway would be, do I do what I need to do to make myself safe and others around me? Comments? Do you guys feel any bit more informed or more or less confused? Is there less confusion? Anything you guys want me to go over? Past? Did we go over what past was? You said.
No, you haven't.
Pull the pin.
Pull, aim,
Name.
pull,
Spray.
shoot. Move.
It's
BA,
like
what was it?
spray and
Yeah.
sweat.
PASS.
It's like spray and it's
Pull, aim, squeeze,
Squeeze and squeeze, sweep.
and sweep.
That's spread.
Pull the pin, aim the fire. You're aiming it at the base of the fire, not at the smoke, directly on the fuel. You're pulling it so that the chemical comes out, and you're sweeping back and forth.
Why do I not know this stuff?
Like,
Why
we
don't
do
they
fire
teach us this?
We do fire extinguisher training at our work at New
Really?
Fire Orientation.
But I feel
That's
like
why it's
in
learned.
kindergarten, like
Yeah,
we should
but
learn
yeah.
this.
I've learned it, but I don't remember what it's.
Oh,
I know that I gotta pull the
okay.
pin and I gotta go back and forth.
Yeah.
Anything else? Do you guys have any more questions about anything I went over? Good. Yes.
Like with the guy who was filming, it was bothering me because I felt like he was getting out too slowly, but at the same time, if he was going too fast, then maybe like the bottlenecking would happen and he would like trample people. So what? Because you don't want to like panic and run necessarily, but you can't be slowing other people down, and you can't be so no.
So good.
So what
Yeah.
you should walk this way.
Awesome observation is, do you create that panic? Do you say fire? You loud voice, fire, and everyone just goes crazy.
Right.
And if you do that, then you're still gonna get that bottlenecking. You're just gonna get more people bottlenecking. So it sucks because he didn't really tell people. He just started walking back kind of on his own. He's kind of taking care of himself. But at the same time, those that were somewhere else should know that there are exits somewhere else so that they don't bottleneck. So if you do yell out fire, then everyone just straight boom. It's just a rush, and you're gonna get less people out. So my suggestion would be, what's your plan B? Where else are you gonna go out?
Didn't he like bust through a door too? Did he go through the normal exit?
He just walked out the.
First
Yeah.
exit. Oh,
That was the
I
first one, yeah.
couldn't tell what the camera was doing because it looked like he like went away from people.
After the fire started, it took about 30 seconds for the band to stop playing, and by that time he was on his way out.
Those things aren't even allowed inside of buildings, right?
Well, because of this happened in Rhode Island in 2003. Because of this fire, you can no longer have pyrotechnics inside a building. And this was a kind of a Chili's restaurant, nightclub, converted into a nightclub where they put the sound, the eggshell, whatever, for acoustics. They put all the foam that just...
I was gonna ask like how
There was a
started,
source of an
because it's,
accelerant
like,
there being the foam.
Oh, got it. And that's what initially caught fire then too, because it.
Those little pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
Because those are actual sparks that will start fires. That was inside of the thing.
They were in.
Dummy.
They- they're rock banders. They're
Okay.
important.
Focus on music.
Yeah, sorry to be the Debbie Downer,
No,
but it's just
No,
it's just
it's
an
good.
No, I like that.
I know, it's
Yeah,
just
there's
it's
not
just an
a
awareness.